everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This week we're going to be doing wine glasses. So I'm going to be showing you guys how to throw wine glasses in two parts on the wheel, and at the very end of it you will have a nice little wine glass like this. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're going to go ahead and start with the top part of our wine glass. And this shape can vary however you'd like. But we're just going to go ahead and throw a regular little vase. Wine glasses usually aren't this big, so let's take a bit off. Alright, so we have our base. We're going to go ahead and do the bottom of this now. Alright, so once we have this centered, we're going to go ahead and make the base of this. So what we're going to want to do is push down our outer rim. This is going to be what actually sits on the table, and I like to use a sponge for this. This is much larger than I need, so I will end up cutting a lot of this off, but essentially what we want is this middle part to work with. And once we have this separated, I can kind of use this to lift up my center stem. You don't want to make this too thin, because otherwise in firing a lot of the times your wine glass will tilt over because of the heat. I also want to make sure you don't trap air in there, so as you lift this up, if it kind of starts to curl over, what I like to do is just kind of peel this top part back and keep your hand on the side so that way it doesn't fold over, but it just kind of compresses. So go ahead and do that again. Now, what I found with wine glasses is typically we're going to start with trying to make this a bit too tall. Wine glass stems are actually quite short. At least most of them are. So usually I try to measure out. If you have one in your house that you really like, I usually try to use that as a point of reference. Otherwise, you're just going to end up making a lot of things and then figuring it out after you've made a lot of things you don't like as to how big this should be. So once we have this about the size that we want it, which I think that's about good. I really don't want this any thinner. I'm just gonna kind of color this up, but I really don't want this any thinner. So what I like to do is once we have this here, I'm just gonna go ahead and flatten this out. You want to flatten this out because of the fact that this is going to be the connection point that touches the top to the bottom. So you want a little bit extra there. So what I like to do is I like to push down just a little bit, so that kind of makes this a bit fatter, and it kind of takes a little bit more of that middle clay there and uses that for a point of connection. You also want to have something that's flat and not like a tiny point for it to be attached to. Oh, there goes my nail. There we go. So now I'm going to go ahead and take care of the rest of this. I'm just going to use a wooden tool to really take care of all this excess. I guess I started with way too much. That's okay though, we can always take it off. If you start small though, can't add any on in the middle of this process. So let's start here. We use this to compress one more time. I like to use this wooden tool again to kind of make sure that outer edge is flat. Alright, so that's our bottom. Now we're gonna wait a while and attach. With this one, I ended up trimming off the top and then afterwards slip and scoring them together. You can either blend that out, or if you like having the line between the connection points, you can do that as well. Decorate it however you want. But if you ended up liking this video and finding it helpful, go ahead and hit like, subscribe, and I will see you all next week. Bye!